Hello everyone, I hope everything is going well with you. So today we are going to talk about the conditionals. Specifically, we are going to talk about the conditional type 0 and conditional type 1. This lesson is meant for first year baccalaureate students, but it can also be useful for second year baccalaureate students. So let's start. So first of all, we need to define the word condition. What is a condition? So the definition that Cambridge provides is a condition is an arrangement that must exist before something else can happen. In Arabic, condition means a shart. So let's have a look at these examples. The first example says, if you heat ice, it melts. The grass gets wet when it rains. If you mix red and blue, you get purple. So let's answer the first question, which is what happens when? So what happens when you heat ice? The result is it melts. And what happens when it rains? The result is the grass gets wet. So in these sentences, we have something that is known as condition and result. So we have a condition and a result. يعني الشرط ديت النتيجة. Alright? So the second question says, the results of these conditions possible or inevitable. يعني النتائج ندان الشروط of these conditions, are they possible ممكنة or inevitable حتمية. So what do you think? In the first example, if you heat ice, it melts. So we say that the results are inevitable. Now the third question says, how many clauses do we have in these examples? So the answer is we have two clauses. The first clause, we call it the if clause. We call it the if clause obviously because it starts with if and because it's a condition. Sometimes it can start with when, as the case in the second example. And then we have the other clause, which is it melts, which is also the result. So let's have a look at a simple definition of a clause. A clause is a verb, first a subject plus a verb plus a complement. Now let's talk about the use of conditional type 0. We use conditional type 0 for conditions that lead to inevitable results, or when we are talking about scientific facts. يعني الضغن conditional type 0 ده نستعمل إذا نسورق فيها نتائجيا حتمية، ناضي إذا نسورق فيها الحقائق علمية. Okay? Now let's talk about the rule. The rule says that we should start with if or when plus subject plus the verb in simple present, then plus the complement. This is for the condition. And for the result, we start with the subject plus the verb in simple present plus the complement. Let's have a look at this example. It gets cold when it snows. So we have both condition and results, and in both condition and result we use simple present. Exercises. The first exercise says put the verb between brackets in the right tense. So we have if my brother cook food, he burn it. So we know that we use simple present in both condition and result. So the answer would be if my brother cooks food, he burns it. Second exercise. Make sentences out of the following phrases. So we have here scrambled phrases. For example, do not do your homework, teacher disappointed. So what I want you to do is try to make a condition out of this and then a possible or an inevitable result, in a sense. So we can say, if you do not do your homework, the teacher feels disappointed. Exercise number 3, which is about describing pictures. So you have pictures, try to imagine a condition and a given result. For example, the first picture, the boy is trying to press a button. So what do you think? if he presses the button, something will happen. What is it? Try to imagine. Now let's talk about conditional type 1. We're going to talk about the use, rule, and exercises again. So, if you sleep early, you will wake up early. You will be tired when it gets warmer. If you steal other people's money, the police will come after you. Again, what happens when? So what happens when you sleep early? The result is you will wake up early. And what happens when it gets warmer? You will be tired. So we have here a condition again and a result. Now, are the results of these conditions possible or inevitable? So what do you think? Is it possible or inevitable? Let's take the first example. If you sleep early, you will wake up early. يعني هذا النتيجة استياء حتمية عند ممكنة. Well, in my opinion, it is possible, not inevitable. For example, you can sleep early but wake up late. Who knows? So here, the results are possible, not inevitable. So let's talk about the use. So for conditional type 1, we use it for possible results and for future results. Let's talk about the rule. The rule says that in the condition, we start with when or if plus subject plus the verb in simple present plus the complement. Then for the result, you start with subject plus verb in simple future plus the complement. Let's have a look at this example. You will be sick if you eat unhealthy food. So what is the condition and what is the result? The condition is if you eat unhealthy food, and the result is you will be sick. So notice that in the condition we used simple present, and in the result we used simple future. So always remember, in conditional type 1, in the condition you use the simple present, and for the result you use simple future. Let's have a look at these exercises. It says, first one, put the verb in these sentences in the right tense. So what you have to do is this. You look for the condition and you conjugate the verb into simple present. You look for the result and you conjugate the verb into simple future. So for example, if you send this letter now, he receive it tomorrow. So the answer should be, if you send this letter now, he will receive it tomorrow. So try to do the same for the rest of the examples. Number 2. Complete the following sentences with possible results. If the weather is bad tomorrow, so here you have to imagine the possible results that will happen if the weather is bad tomorrow. Here is an example. If the weather is bad tomorrow, we will not play football. Number 3. Match the two halves of the sentences. On the left, you have conditions, and on the right, you have possible results. So let's take an example. If it rains, so what do you think? If it rains, we will go swimming. Do you think this is the appropriate answer? Well, it does not sound. So the appropriate choice is we will need an umbrella. If it rains, we will need an umbrella. The last exercise is about describing pictures using conditional type 1. So we have pictures. Try to imagine again a given condition and a possible result. For example, in the first picture, someone is fat, does sport, and then becomes slim. So try to make a condition and a result. The last thing that we are going to do is a quick recapitulation. So conditional type 0, the use. We use conditional type 0 to talk about conditions that lead to inevitable results. يعني إذا استعملنا conditional type 0 يرى نصور خفيف من الشروط يتسبب لي النتائج حتمية. or when we are talking about scientific facts. غادي نصور في حقائق علمية. And the rule is if or when plus subject plus simple present or the verb in simple present plus the complement. Then for the result you start with the subject plus simple present plus the complement. Now for the conditional type 1, we use it for possible results or for future results. يعني conditional type 1 that نستعمل للنتائج المحتملة مرات نتائج مستقبلية. So the rule says if or when plus subject plus the verb in simple present plus complement. Then for the result you use subject plus simple future plus complement. Well, this is everything for this lesson. I hope that the explanation was simple.